It started on an ordinary Tuesday morning, sunlight pouring into that oversized kitchen with its marble counters and steel appliances polished like mirrors. And there she was, Naomi the nanny, her back straight, a simple cloth tied across her shoulders, holding little Sophie snug against her. To Naomi, it wasn't strange at all. It was just the way she'd grown up seeing babies carried close to the heart where they could feel a steady rhythm and stay calm. But to Michael, the billionaire who owned this house, it looked like something out of place in his world of gadgets and order. He stormed in, eyes wild. "What the hell are you doing?" His voice bounced off the glass cabinets. Naomi didn't flinch. She just said softly, "She's been crying for hours. This helps her breathe easy." Michael yanked at the cloth. Sophie wailed, and before Naomi could steady herself, his hand came across her cheek, sharp, stinging. The room froze. Staff at the doorway looked away, but everyone heard it. Michael's words landed harder than the slap. "You're fired. Get out of my house." Naomi stood there, tears welling but not falling. She looked at him like he was the lost one, whispered, "You think you're protecting her, but you're breaking her instead," then gathered her things and walked out into the rain. That was the hook, the wound no one could take back. The mansion unraveled within days. Sophie cried night after night so loud neighbors heard. Doctors came with prescriptions, specialists brought machines, one even suggested weighted blankets. Nothing worked. Michael paced the halls exhausted, blaming the baby, blaming Naomi, blaming fate for taking his wife in childbirth. He tried wrapping Sophie himself one night, clumsy hands, knots wrong, baby slipping. He collapsed in the rocking chair, whispering, "I can't do this." 3 nights later, headlights cut across Naomi's aunt's porch. Michael stood in the rain, soaked through, pride stripped away. "I was wrong," he said. No boardroom tone, no command, just a father begging. Naomi looked at him for a long time, then nodded. "I'll come back, but not as your maid. You'll respect me, and you'll learn." Back at the house, the staff gathered in the dining room. Naomi set the terms. No mocking traditions. No whispering behind her back. No undermining care. Michael backed her with a single sentence. "What she says goes." That was the first crack of change. But the enemy wasn't gone. Gerald, Michael's assistant, sneered at Naomi's influence. "This isn't childcare, it's tribal nonsense," he hissed behind closed doors. He drafted press statements warning investors about optics, whispered poison in Michael's ear. But Michael surprised him. "You're done, Gerald. Pack your desk." The man who had fired Naomi without thought now defended her with fire. Still, the storm outside grew. Paparazzi caught photos of Naomi carrying Sophie. Tabloids ran headlines, "Billionaire's baby strapped like luggage." Naomi stayed quiet, but her dignity was louder than their mockery. Michael called a press conference. Standing beside Naomi, he said, "Love isn't primitive and science agrees babies need closeness." It was bold, messy, and honest. Then came the night of the vandalism. Their private gallery, where Michael kept paintings his late wife adored, was sprayed red with the word, "unfit." Staff found a broken lock footage of a figure slipping in. Everyone knew Gerald was behind it, but Naomi said calmly, "Don't drag him to court. Let the scars show, repair them. It'll speak louder." And so they cleaned the paint, but left the faint traces visible, proof of both hate and healing. The state sent an investigator. Dr. Holloway walked through the nursery, saw Sophie sleeping against Naomi's chest, tiny breaths even and calm. Unconventional. "Yes," she said, scribbling notes, "but healthier than most homes I've seen." A therapist backed its secure attachment, forming night terrors fading. The official review closed in Naomi's favor. The story deepened when Sonia, a woman from Michael's late wife's past, showed up with a box of letters. Inside was one Anna had written during pregnancy. "If I can't be here, I want Sophie to know rhythm, to be carried close the way I once was." Michael read it aloud, voice breaking. It wasn't just Naomi's way, it was Anna's wish. From then, things shifted. Dinner wasn't boss at the head of the table anymore. It was family, with Naomi laughing at Sophie's first attempts to mash peas. Michael drafted legal papers naming Naomi guardian if anything happened to him. She froze, tears finally spilling. "I'm not blood," she whispered. "Family isn't blood," Michael said, sliding the papers across. "It's who shows up. But not everyone celebrated. Anonymous letters threatened custody battles. One even tried to spark a fire near the property line. Instead of hiding, Naomi and Michael held a vigil. Neighbors lit candles, standing shoulder to shoulder. "Family is chosen," Naomi said into the night, "and we're choosing each other." The final blow came at a public hearing after one last complaint was filed. Commissioner Hart listened to every testimony, doctors, neighbors, even Michael himself. Naomi stood last. "They call it primitive," she said, holding Sophie. "But what's more modern than love? What's more advanced than healing?" The room went still. The commissioner tapped her pen and said, "Case dismissed. Guardianship stands." The gallery painting still carries faint red scars under its varnish. Michael insists on keeping it that way. Sophie now toddles around giggling, climbing onto Naomi's back like it's her throne. And every so often Naomi catches Michael watching with a soft smile, not the man who once raised his hand in anger, but one who finally lowered his pride. Some neighbors still whisper, was it right for a maid to become family for tradition, to rewrite wealth for guardianship, to cross lines of blood and class? Others say love made the mansion livable again. What do you think? Was Michael justified at first protecting his child from what he didn't understand or did? Prejudice blind him to the very thing that saved his daughter. And do you believe family is blood, or is it the ones who show up when no one else will? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is one of those stories where the ending is still being written. And if you've ever seen love prove the experts wrong, hit that like, subscribe, and share your story below. Because these are the stories that remind us what family really means.